Hello, beautiful and exotic women of the world. On YouTube, we see lots of videos about decentering men, but today I want to talk about decentering friendships, decentering the need to have friends. I want to discuss why only weak women need lots of friends. When I look back at my life and how I came up in school, I was targeted and bullied and isolated, and I would always have one good friend or maybe two good friends if I got lucky. At a young age, I did desire to be in a big group of friends, as any young girl would. I know some people are content with just being alone or having one friend, but for me, I used to love the idea of having a ton of friends and being a part of a girl group and having a sisterhood, and it just looked like it was so fun. You always had an ally. You always had someone to lean on. You knew that someone had your back. You knew that you wouldn't look silly or stupid walking alone in the cafeteria, or when you would leave school, you wouldn't look lonely or like a loser. And I would always kind of long for that relationship until I realized that female friendships and large groups are very superficial and very fake. After I learned that there's a lot of phoniness that goes on within those friendship groups, it was almost like the Pandora's box opened for me, and I was able to see through almost everyone who was in a friendship group. I was able to see who's the ringleader, who are the puppets who, allow themselves to be used, and who are the doormats, who are the sidekicks, the people who would go to extreme lengths to please the ringleader. After realizing this dynamic, I kind of took a step back and I would kind of like psychoanalyze people and observe how horrible a lot of the friendship groups I used to be around were. And suddenly my thirst for that was quenched. I didn't need it anymore. I almost looked at my loner lifestyle as a blessing, because I realized that it's more harmful to be in a big friendship group than it is to just be alone or have one or two friends. The reason why women who need friends are weak is because they don't know the power that they hold by just standing alone, by just being a lone wolf and being themselves. A lot of women who need friendships allow friendships to be their downfall. When you center your whole womanhood and your whole life around building a sisterhood and connecting with women and growing lots of friendships and being in a friendship group and girls' trips, no shade to the women who go on girls' trips or have large groups of friends, because I know in rare cases it is genuine and it is pure and it is a real friendship. But I'm talking about the majority. Okay, so the majority of friendship groups, from my perspective, are not real. There's someone or multiple people usually in that group who doesn't like someone in the group, or multiple people within the group. They talk about each other behind their backs. They are flirting with their partners. It's just a whole lot going on. And so once I realized that, how these women would rather be in a friendship with someone who doesn't like them for the optics of having a friend, because if you think about it, that's all it really is. It's for the appearance of lots of people loving you and liking you. They would rather stay in something toxic, a toxic friendship or a toxic friendship group, just to feel like they have numbers, just to feel like they have support, just to feel like they're not alone. That's a weakness. It's weak to need anything other than God, if we're being honest. But what I realized is a lot of these girls feel like they need these friendships. They need these friendships to feel powerful. They need these friendships to feel whole. They need these friendships to feel worthy. They need these friendships to feel validated. A lot of this is just about validation. A lot of female friendship groups are all about how can we come together and scratch each other's backs and validate each other, even if we're all dead ass wrong, even if we're all horrible, even if we're all lying to each other. Who cares? As long as we have each other and we look powerful because we run in a pack, nobody will mess with us because we're all using each other for an image and for validation. So that's the mentality that I find in a lot of these toxic friendship groups, where there's a ton of girls who are just kind of using each other to get their own needs met. And for me, I'm sorry that I couldn't fit into that. You know, I have no regrets in choosing to go the lone wolf route and only choosing to have a select few friends and not feeling like I need to move in a pack. You know, I remember in college when I was targeted and isolated by this group of girls who I dibbled and dabbled with, but then decided to leave because I realized that they were fake. They tried to tarnish my name, they ruined my reputation, they talked really badly about me, they told lies. It was horrible. And I remember in that moment, I had a decision. I was like, either I'm going to let these people run me out of school and get me to transfer, and they win, or I stand my ground and show them how strong I am. Show them that I've dealt with monsters like them before and that I can overcome, and that I'm not pressed to be in that group and I don't care. So I chose the latter, and I made sure to push through my 4 years of schooling. It was hard because they were doing really well at telling people lies so that they wouldn't befriend me or become one of my allies. And luckily, in freshman year, I had made my closest friendship with one girl, and she stayed friends with me the whole year. She, to this day, is a witness of all of the unfair things that happened to me, and we're best friends still to this day. I, during that time, learned how to stand alone for the most part. You know, my friend, even though she was my closest friend there, she couldn't always be with me when I was walking through the caf and all the eyes from the people who hated me was on me. She couldn't be there with me all of the times that I was in clubs or extracurriculars. She couldn't always be there with me. So I was alone for the most part, standing my ground and being fearless. And that built a lot of character. That built a lot of resilience in me, because I realized that I can be a force by myself. I don't need a group of girls to validate me, to make me feel empowered, to make me feel strong. I didn't need that. All I needed was me, myself, and I, and the Most High, okay? And I think that also threatened people even more, because they realized that their tactics weren't working. Like, their efforts to tarnish my name and to isolate me and to get people to hate me wasn't working, because, for one, I didn't leave the school. I didn't let the pressure run me out of the school. And also, people still liked me. Like, people still had conversations with me. No, they weren't my best friend, but they still had conversations with me. They still realized that I was a genuine good person. And it was hard for them to hate me based off of what they were hearing, because when they would get to know me, they would realize, dang, she's actually really, really cool. She's actually genuine and sweet and nice. And that was kind of like the theme of my life in school. I was really trying to force myself to learn how to walk and stand alone and not care. And it was so hard, but it was so worth it. So I want to encourage all of you ladies to remember that your power, you alone are a force. When you walk with your head held high and you're by yourself, and you may walk past a group of women or a group of men or whoever, and you know, they seem intimidating because they're in numbers, and let's say you're in school or at work and you have this group that has come up against you, or they've isolated you or tried to get you out of wherever you're at. Remember that you standing alone, walking with your head held high, not dimming your light for them, and continuing to be your authentic self is going to hurt these people, because all of their efforts aren't working. And on top of that, you don't need friends around you or people around you to make you powerful and to make you feel empowered and strong. You by yourself scares them, because how could she just walk by herself? How could she just be alone? How could she not need friends? I remember there was this girl who I'm friends with from back home, and she's one of these girls who's in a big group, and she has all these friends, and I'm always like, wow, every time I see her on her Instagram story, she has a new friend. Every time I turn around, she's with somebody new. Every time I turn around, is someone new. And I'm just like, wow, this girl has a lot of friends. And, you know, she would always show off her group chats whenever I would be around her and talk about how she has all these friends here and all these friends there. And I remember telling her, yeah, like, I don't really need friends. I don't feel like I need them. She's like, everyone needs friends. And I said, yeah, I mean, one or two, one or two good, genuine people who you know are your friend. There's no telling if Becky and Lala and Bree are my friend for real. Once the friendship gets bigger than two people, it's questionable if that person really fucked you for real. Like, let's just keep it 1,000. I don't know if these people's true intentions are to be my friend because there's so many people. How could you keep track of everyone's emotions, how everyone thinks? You don't know people for real when you have all these people in a group. You only know them on a surface level because for the most part, again, they're just there to get their needs met in the friendship. They're not there to actually wear their heart on their sleeve and be their true authentic self. They're there for toxic reasons. So when she said that to me, I was just like, of course you would say that because you feel like you need them. You feel like you need people to validate you and to feel like you are somebody. And I just don't agree with women like that. I feel like women who need other people to feel validated or to feel strong or to feel like they are somebody, you're weak. Why don't you feel like somebody by yourself? Why don't you feel like you're someone walking alone when you go into Target? Why you can't go to the movies by yourself? Why you can't go take yourself on a solo date? When I first moved out of my hometown, I made it a mission to learn myself and learn what I liked and to take care of myself and self-care and do self-care. And a part of my self-care was going on solo dates. I used to go to 5-star restaurants by myself, sit at the bar. It felt awkward. It felt weird for me, but guess what? It was fun. Because I was exploring the new city I was in. I didn't need other people to be around me. I didn't need to go make friends or connect with people online and beg them to come outside with me. No. Go do your own thing. Love on yourself. Take care of yourself. Take yourself on solo dates. Take yourself to the spa. Take yourself to a nice restaurant. Take yourself to the movies. Go see a show. Whatever self-care looks like for you. But some women feel the need to have a friend go with them everywhere they go. Why do you need a friend to go to the mall? I used to go to the mall by myself too when I first moved out of my hometown. I used to go to this huge mall and walk the mall by myself. And it was fun. And, you get looks and people are like, who is she with? Where is she going? And it's like, who cares? What matters is that you are breaking an idea in your mind that you need people to go handle your business. So ladies, drop down in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys think about being a loner. Maybe you're a popular loner. So a lot of people know you, but you tend to not move in packs. You like to go to your outings and go home, or you're just by yourself for the most part. You don't want a lot of friends. You don't need friends because you realize that it can be messy. Whatever the case may be, let's have a conversation. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box so you can share your stories with me there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.